Hello everybody! Today we're going to see how I draw Polar Patroller from Fortnite. Okay, pencils first and then Sharpies. So if you don't want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look in the description and you'll find a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. Alright, something new, something different this time. So, I think of like a big fighting polar bear, you know? That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like a big monstrous coming at you. Here we go. Fight, fight, fight. That's the idea I think of when I think of the Polar Patroller. So, I'm going to kind of make a Polar Patroller running at you like a big, we're about to fight. And what's funny is I'm trying to do I'm trying not to do what I tell you not to do by drawing the knee bent up at you like that. Like if these were legs, and people always draw like the knee all bent in like that, and it looks weird. It's an action pose, but I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of it. I used to do it myself, so I'm not judging, or I'm not, saying you shouldn't be doing that. But I am kind of saying you shouldn't be doing it. I guess what I'm trying to say is get out of that habit. Because it's fun to do, but everybody does it. So break free of the mold. Do something different. And we're going to draw a different kind of pose, different kind of coming at you knee than that. Okay? So what I've got here is he's just going to come right at you with a big bear growl. And yeah, that's it. That's all I can say. Coming right at you with a big bear growl and charging. I know that's probably not the character. That's not how he acts in the game. I get it. But again, this is how I draw, and this is what I want to do. And it'll give you something different, something that normally everybody's not doing. So it'll give you practice to try something different and get creative, Okay, so I need to add just a few details just to make sure we get it right, and then we can go crazy with the Sharpies. Okay, so and he's got that little scarf thing around too, so I got to make sure I put that in. And let's see, we'll give him a little crazy tongue like that. And then I got to worry about all the details. So this is where it's going to get crazy. And I'm going to try to not spend a lot of time drawing all this detail, but sketching it in just to get ready for the rest of it. Because we're going to run out of time if I try to do every single detail here. But I got to put enough in that I don't forget something whenever I'm putting all this together for you, Because he does have a lot of detail. He does have quite a bit of information to get on here. Okay. Okay. So that being said, just I guess follow along. I guess that's the best way to say it is just bear with me. And bear with him in the fun direction we're going to go with this, okay? All right, I think that'll work for that. So that means this one's going to be bent over and back behind like this and stepping forward, stepping at you, Okay. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. It's not perfect. Like it could be sketched out and done a little bit better. But I'm happy with where it is. Okay, so let me see what his arms are. Oh, his arms are just fur. Okay, that's pretty easy. As far as taking care of what we got to do, you know, his arms aren't easy. I mean, we got to look at that pose and figure out how to get it there, right? That's kind of the fun thing too about being able to sketch and be able to do all this stuff. And you're going to learn on your own. You're going to figure this out, that eventually you get to do this. You get to decide. It's like, you know what I want to do? I want to put him in this pose, and this is where we're going to go. So eventually you'll be able to do this. And you'll have your own YouTube page, right? You'll be doing it like this. Let's see. Okay, so... all right, so, does he have... yeah, he's got claws, right? We'll assume he does. It's a polar bear. For Pete's sake. He's got to have claws. Okay, so, but this arm does have, like a protective, I was talking about this in the video I just did. I got to come up with the right words. I got to figure out words better. It's not a gauntlet, but, you know, I got to think of better words, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so this one, let me just sketch this out real quick. Let's see, I'll put this thumb up here like this. Gonna put this hand there like that. Okay, I think that might work, that we can get started. That's just a quick sketch, but that's enough to get us going, right? All right, I think we're good. I think I'm ready to go. I'm gonna erase some of this just because I don't want all these lines in here. I want the confidence lines only, not the sketch lines. And I don't want it to stand out over the Sharpie. I want the Sharpie to stand out. If you're working with pencil, doesn't make a difference. You go for it. But because I'm gonna draw with Sharpie now, I want the Sharpie to stand out and not this pencil line. So I'm gonna erase a lot of this. Are we shaking? Am I shaking the whole camera and table? It happens. It happens. All right, let's welcome everybody that skipped over to this section, because I'm happy that anybody watched any section for any amount of time. All right. Welcome, skippers. Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because I do a drawing every day. You can join along and have some fun. I'm going to be using a Sharpie fine point and a Sharpie pen, mostly the fine point, but the pen's a little finer than the fine point and can find the things that a fine point can't quite find. With that, I've sketched the entire thing out, but erased a majority of it, so I have just a ghost of an image to work with. So I'm going to start with the Sharpie pen with the finer detail. So he's coming at you, arms big, chasing out. I just kind of feel like he's just a big polar patroller. He's a big monster of a bear coming at you. So I'm going to start off with the eyes, or eye, I guess, right? Like this. And then draw the iris and the pupil. And normally I don't, but because it's a bear and big enough, I can actually fit it in there. I've got enough room for this. And plus, I do kind of want to darken it up, because the polar bear, right? And like his mouth, certain parts are super dark with the blackness of the skin tone, basically. Okay, so his nose, let's see, is going to be kind of around and over like this, and is going to come down and that back up like that. And it's going to be all blackened in, so don't worry about if we didn't get it just right, because it's going to be all colored in anyway. Okay, so his other eye is basically an eye patch, so I'm going to go a little bit bigger, in like this, and it's just like the nose. It's going to be all colored in, so I'm not worried too much about it. But now his mouth is big and open, like he's charging at you and growling. So I'm going to kind of do this to define the muzzle, And then I'm gonna kind of give him some anger lines, you know, some furrowed brow, so to speak, and draw his top lip like this. And color that in. And this is what I was talking about, how they've got like you know, blackened lips that define a few certain looks to them. And I have him charging and angry, so I got his, you know, baring his teeth. So let's go ahead and give him his bare teeth like that. And we'll go ahead and do the bottom of the jaw too, just to define where we are. So the angle's down like this, so the center is going to be right about there, which is going to put his bottom teeth something like this. All right, so now I can draw the edges down to here. He's got the big wide jaw, and again, I'm going to thicken up the lips. It's super black. All right, like that. And the tongue is pretty much just in his mouth like that. It's just closed in. It's going to be darkened in. You're not going to see it anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. So let's give him a bottom of the jaw, or let's give him his outline of his head, because he's got that what do you call it? The kerchief that goes around his neck, but his jaw is open, super low. So I want to do something like this, just to do fur and give him a little defined look. I'm going to thicken this up just a little bit too. Only because you don't have to do this with the Sharpie, I mean with the pencil, but I'm about to switch over to the big Sharpie and it's super thick. So I'm getting ready for what's about to happen. Like I said, if you're working with pencil, you don't have to do this. I just wanted to get it ready for what's about to happen, what it's about to look like. Okay, so I think I've got enough of the finer detail that I want to work with this, so I think I'm going to switch over to the big Sharpie now. All right, so now that I have that, I can define his hat, or the edge of the hat, basically. Going to go around like this, like that, and I'm going to go ahead and put his ears in just so I know where they're going to be. Make sure I've got them in the right spot. Like this. I know it looks like a weird triangle, but we're going to define that edge just a little bit more like this. Okay? And so then I can draw the top of his hat coming around to his head like that, and draw the edges of it over here. It's a weird looking hat. And then I'm going to draw the buckle just kind of flying out, because again, he's kind of coming at you all charging, so everything's going everywhere. And so now I can draw his kerchief, and I've got him like angled at you just a little bit because he's running at you. So I'm going to draw like where his fur would be, and then his kerchief. Okay, like that. And it comes down a little, so we're going to go ahead and define a few little lines, a little extra little folds, like that, and bring it back up here. It's a little ripped up, so we'll add that right there, and it's wrapped around to his back. So we're going to come around in here, and there's a knot to it, so we're going to add that. All right, how's yours coming out? Awesome. Mine's pretty good too. Okay, so he is angled at you a little bit, and there's quite a few packs and bags that he has on his chest. So I'm going to draw the rest of his what would you call this? It's not really a shirt. His vest. There you go. The rest of his vest. The vest rest. Like this, and I've drawn the entire thing out so I know what's laying over, because it's a bunch of packs like this, but they're laying over themselves like this, so we can only see certain sides to it. Does that make sense? So I'm going to just kind of do real fast, like the top sides. And I'm not really too worried about how perfect it is. I just am drawing you know, where I think they are. Now, they're laying over themselves and they're 3D, so that means they're down in here like this. Okay, and so the next ones are going to be underneath. Like that. Does that make sense? And the only reason I'm doing it like this is because, like I said, they're kind of stacked on top of each other the way his body is angled like this because it's coming at you. So, like that, okay? So normally it's like this, but now they're like this. So this is kind of over this, and that's what I'm doing right there. Just to explain to you why it looks that way. Okay, so he's got some shotgun shells over on the side here. We're gonna do some over here too. I guess I could have done it like that. That way it's defined a little bit easier for you. Come in here, close all this off. And there is, I'll close all that off too. There is like another piece hanging down. Okay, so that's the rest of the vest that you can see right there. Now that we have that, well here, I tell you what, let's finish this up with the packs. Like this. Trying to think of the easiest way to draw it for you. I'm approaching it with several different ways. Okay, so there's his vest, and we can worry about his arms now. So he's basically, the straps. I'm sorry, everybody has straps, backpack straps. Look at this. He's basically got his arms up at you, and so they're coming out all super wide. Okay, so I'm gonna draw anatomy plus a little bit of fur, just a little bit. So like that, just to give it some fur to it, you know, just you know what I'm talking about, fur. I don't know why I keep trying to find a better word than that. So I'm following the sketch that I did and adding just a little bit of fuzz to it. There. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. So I'm just gonna add just a little bit of you know, furry fuzziness to it, just to show that it's you know, fur, polar bear fur, but not a lot, not too much. Okay, so he's got a little wrist thing here that we're gonna draw like that, and see how it's like super big and exaggerated. I was just going for something crazy and fun. Like that. Draw an edge like that. Okay, so now his hand is basically doing this. Where's the angle? Something like that. So we're gonna draw his thumb in here like this. And his fingers coming at you. And this is also kind of the nice thing about it's a monster hand or a polar bear hand. We're kind of making it up, so we can have a little fun with it. And it doesn't have to be perfect, or there doesn't have to be any preconceived, well, it's supposed to look like this. Well, it's a monster hand. I can do whatever I want. This is how I draw. Okay, so see, I kind of just, it's not perfect anatomy, but it's polar bear hand, you know? So we're gonna do whatever we want. We're gonna make it look our style, our polar style. Okay. Oh, you know what? Let's see a few things I want to close off. There we go. All right, so let's do the same thing over here. We're just going to come out, and he does have a few different accoutrement pieces over on this side, like he's got an armband and a wrist protector, whatever we're going to call it. So I'm going to do just a little bit of the fur like I was doing over there, but now I'm going to draw the armband holding on shotgun shells. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because this is how I draw. I do what I want. Okay. And add just a little bit of fuzzy fur to it, just like that. So same thing here. I'm going to draw the fuzzy fur to the anatomy, to the sketch that I did, up to the edge of that wrist. Okay. And again, I'm just kind of making this up. So don't worry, if you're not drawing exactly like I am, it's okay. You draw how you draw. This is how I draw, remember? But, you know, you just have fun with it and do what you want to do. This is a rough guide to get you there, basically. So let's draw his hand first because it's in front of this arm piece right there. So I know it looks like it's floating, but I sketched where it's supposed to be. So just bear with me that it's over here on this side. So I'm going to do the thumb like this. To the hand, or to the finger, sorry. All right, so if that'll help you guide like where we are, there's the inside of the palm, there's the meat of the palm, and then we're gonna work from here. So these fingers are behind this one, that's why I wanted to draw it first. So I can come in here and draw like this, same thing. So we're doing just like we did over there. We're just drawing how we want because it's a monster hand and, you know, we get to make it up. All right, so something like that, okay? And I'm gonna add a few more defining lines just to play around with it, just to show that it's, you know, over itself. And a palm, so to speak. But, you know, it's a bear, so it's whatever we want it to be. All right, so for his wrist, we're just going to draw something like this. And he does have like a big, huge protector thing, like pad on the back of his hand that we'll draw right there. And so same thing for his wrist. We're going to, his wrist. Yeah, or his forearm, I guess is what it is. We're going to draw something like that. And I'm going to accent it with just a small Sharpie like this. And again, it's got like an elbow pad thing here, just like that. So we're going to do that on that side, okay? Awesome. There we go. All right, so now feet, basically just legs coming at you because it's just cloth and then like a shin protector. So this leg's out here like this, and then to the knee, come in here like that. This leg is taking most of the bend, so I'm going to do some material bend like this. Same thing, draw that knee down here like that. And then I can draw the knee pad, which is pretty big. And it's kind of like that, how it's got like a not a layer, but another like metal front to it. Okay, and I'm going to draw it down to the leg. That's the shin protector, which is a solid piece, so that's why it's not bent or anything like that. It's just smooth. And I'm going to draw its foot just on the ground. This is one planted on the ground. So I'm just drawing basic anatomy, but with my polar bear feel to it. All right, so there, just adding a little bit of polar bear fur. That's what I was going for. So this one is kind of pulled back because it's in step position. So I'm going to draw the knee pad down because you're looking at it from more of a top view, right? Like that. And so it's kind of tucked behind itself. So imagine this is his knee, that's his knee, that's his foot. So it's kind of tucked back like that. So you're only seeing certain parts, okay? So we're only gonna see a little bit of the shin to the foot, and this one's hanging down more and a little bit smaller because it's tucked back behind. And see how I'm just kind of making it up too? I'm just kind of adding lines where I want. That's kind of the neat and fun thing about creating monster feet or polar bear feet is you do what you want. All right. All right, so I say we take care of the rest with color. So that is Polar Patroller coming at you. So here is my colored version. You could do it however you like. I just thought I'd show you how I decided to color it. If you'd like to color it like this, you can always pause the video here and use the coloring techniques that I used, or you can just make it your own. Remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures of how I draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button to be updated about each new video.